the chain, sweat and blood, erase the pain. Turn it up, raise your fist, you are the one who won't be missed. Run through the fire, burn with desire. Scream your heart out, no room for doubt. Eyes on the prize, don't look back. Feel the thunder, hear the crack. One more step, never fall. You got the power, take it all. Run through the fire, burn with the desire. Scream your heart out, no room for doubt. Eyes on the prize, don't look back. Feel the thunder, hear the crack. One more step, never fall. You got the power, take it all. Run through the fire, burn with desire. Scream your heart out, no room for doubt. Turn the tide, make your stand. Face the world, strike up the band. Feel the rush in your soul. This is how you rock and roll. Run through the fire, burn with desire. Scream your heart out, no room for doubt.
And we're back with an all-new Road Trip After Hours live on a Thursday night. I'm your host, Mac Davis, and of course with me right here is WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy.
Hey, I just want to say that's a great interest. You changed things up, and that was really nice. I could sit back and watch the opening, and I really enjoyed that. So, if you could just make me comfortable like that, I'd appreciate it. Because I'm always nervous with you. I really am. I never know what you're going to do.
No, you don't. You're absolutely correct. Yeah, there's a bunch of, actually, Teddy, I look back today through some of our older openings that we used in the early days of the show when we were doing the podcast. Oh man, there's some, I got to bring those back. There's some really good ones in there, especially the early ones where we're driving down the road and there's smoke coming out the windows, and we got to have a little throwback to some of those things. Just before we got on air, Teddy, I want to kind of say this publicly because this is kind of funny to me, but you were talking about you're going to go to your lady friend's house, Miss Denise, for Thanksgiving, and she was asking you about dinner. And first of all, what did you ask for? What do you want for that Thanksgiving meal?
Well, we were talking about the turkey, and I was explaining that, but I really didn't want that. I wanted those ribs that she made that last time. Brother, I ain't never in my life had any ribs that they just fall off the bone. I mean, it wasn't tough. I mean, it's just like eating candy or something, man. It's unreal. So I said that. And then she asked me about the sweet part, and I told her, I said, well, banana pudding. You got me hooked on that. So we were talking about that today, just before I called you and we got on the air here. We were talking, me and her was talking about the banana pudding.
And I know you were telling her that she's got to be careful because you don't eat like this all the time.
She brings me a lot on her plate too, and I have to let her know, the needs, but she just wants to make sure I got enough food, and she likes to feed me. So
I've seen you in catering before at some of these independent shows, and Teddy says he doesn't eat much, but Teddy, he eats a little bit, but he eats a little bit all day throughout the day. So you never catch Teddy actually gouging himself with food. I've never seen that happen, except for the donuts.
I do sit down, when I was going to catering, I'd sit down when I first got the TV and I'd eat a little bit of meal there. But then back and forth, ripping and running, I'd slop by catering, pick up some, keep snacking.
I was also mentioning to you that my wife, when I first met my wife, we'll get into wrestling in just a second. When I first met her, women are really smart. They know how to catch a man if that's what they're wanting to do, simply by you feed his belly with good food, man. You got a guy. That's the easiest way to get a guy. Really, it is. If you're trying to get one of us, all you got to do is prepare a good meal, good food that you took time with and love with. And we couldn't ask for anything better. Well, maybe one or two other things, but that's beside the point. Hey, look, Teddy, I mentioned this, and people have probably seen the thumbnail where Vince McMahon is in the image, and is he going to be doing a tell-all? JBL, your buddy JBL, has recently said that he believes a book a tell-all book, and he says no punches pulled, will come out within the next 2 years, if not sooner. Does that surprise you?
Well, what's the tell-all book about?
Well, it's Vince McMahon giving his view on all the things. Nothing's held back. JBL, when he talked about this, honestly, it felt like he knew a lot more than he was giving in to saying
Well,
publicly.
if he's speaking on it, then he does know a lot more
That's
than
my guess. Yes, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Uh,
he's saying it's going to be a tell-all book. It's going to be one of the best books ever written, is what he's along those lines. I'm just kind of paraphrasing him, but
well,
he believes this is going to be a just huge book.
yeah, I believe that too. You know, like I said, Vince is the creator. He's the man that created all this, and for him to tell it all, I don't think he'll go into a whole lot of stuff, but I believe he'll give us enough, to let you know how he started and how he made money and how he did different ideas and how he made it work. So that's going to be interesting. I'd like to read that myself, and I'm not a reader.
Yeah, and I think anybody, most people know who Vince McMahon is, whether
Yeah.
it's through wrestling or through entertainment or if it's through, the latest news that got him all in trouble. Most people know the name Vince McMahon. And one of my favorite things when I watch something like on Netflix or, one of those channels, I'm looking more times than not for documentaries because I like learning about people and what made them tick and stuff like that. Vince McMahon, man, to really get a look at what he says right from the man about his life, I think would be incredibly interesting.
And like I said, he's going to be truthful with you. You know what I mean? He knows what to say and what not to say. So that's, like I said, that's going to be interesting too, to really see the other side of him. You know what I mean? That's one thing I wished I could have did. I wished I could have traveled with him, and spent a lot more time with him than I did when I was at TV and at work. Because I understood when you're with him, you're gonna learn. You're learning while you're around him, and that's what I know I had to do in order to stay around. I got to learn how to play this game. So I just wished I'd have had more time with him than he. But he gave me enough of his time, and he let me know in a lot of different ways, where I stood, and you know what I mean. So I appreciate that. And like I said, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing the podcast here with you today.
I'd be curious to find out too what he has to say about the entire thing of him being, selling the company, then kind of being booted from the company. I would imagine it. And again, JBL made this sound like this is going to be a tell-all book. He's not holding back. So if that's the case, his take on what went down would be extremely interesting because he may get more involved in some of the family stuff than he was prepared to do. And now this is an opportunity where he can address and tell his side, his truth. So it'll be interesting. Let's see, Zach Minger already popping in here. And by the way, if you'd like to be on today's show, all you got to do is just pop up a message on the screen and we'll throw it up there for you. Talk about it and discuss anything that you have or any questions you might have for Teddy or just wrestling in general. Zach Minger, hey, Zach, good to have you in here, my friend. National Nachos Day, Mac and Teddy.
Well, thank you very much, Zach. Enjoy your National Nachos Day.
And Plot Twist Jones saying he hopes everyone is having a great day. Same to you, Plot Twist.
Thank you, player.
Name. All right, let me see. There was one other thing I wanted to bring up with you, and I'm trying to think. Oh, ticket prices. We're hearing that the ticket prices from Nick Khan are adjusted to what people are willing to pay today, basically. But their numbers, Teddy, and we'll get into this a little bit more because I think there's a letter about this. So I don't want to get in too deep, but they've got to do something when it comes to ticket pricing because I'm afraid that what's happening to them now is what I've said for a while. You keep pricing the average fan out of the sport and being able to come to the show, you're eventually going to lose that fan. And it appears to me that some of the latest trends now for WWE are showing that that's exactly the case, and they are losing that trend. When it comes to wrestling today, Teddy, and I know you don't watch it every show and you don't watch tons of it, but what you do watch, what is it that you feel is missing in today's product that needs to be put back in and make things a little bit more exciting than it is now?
Well, I don't know. I think storylines play a big part, and I see them. They'll start something, and then they don't finish it. So I don't understand, how I might start to follow something and then all of a sudden it's not there anymore. But now here comes something brand new that you want me to start all over again to see now, okay, well, what's going to happen here? So I don't think they give storylines a long enough time for the fans to digest and kind of see what's going on. I see a lot happening with the selling. A lot of guys ain't selling nothing, man. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I
So
was doing a podcast, Teddy, with Bob Smith. You met him while no, you didn't meet him. You weren't there. I'm sorry. That was in New York. Anyhow, he used to work with Bill Apter and PWI. And we were talking about how people don't sell and the fact that finishers are not real finishers anymore. I still say, name me one finisher that somebody has not kicked out of or, lifted their whatever, and I don't think anybody can. I don't think there is a finisher. It used to be, Teddy, let's say your finisher was, a DDT. You spent the entire match working up to getting that DDT on your opponent, did you not?
well, you made the people wait on it.
Yes.
And you had that signal right there when it was time for it. You gave it, and the people knew it, and they're all right. Here it comes.
Yep. Yep. See, that's the part that I think that we're getting so worried about the match being exciting and being longer that they all become the same kind of match. Everybody's kicking out of finishers left and right at the end, or somebody's running in and causing some kind of problem at the end of the match. It needs to go back to being a very simple product where you just go ahead.
It'll never do that. You know what I mean? They're gone now. They're out there now. So, like I said, the only thing I think is just too much. You know what I mean? Golly, how much wrestling can you see and watch? You know what I mean? So, not saying cut nothing out, but just kind of trim it down a little bit. Put more time into some storylines that
Yes.
that's going to work for you. That's going to draw money. Put some time into that. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I think they just got so much going on, man. So they're just going day to day.
Yeah, and and I understand they have to create a lot of content, and that's the big thing. You got to have content, so they're going to churn out that content, and quality in some cases gets lost because you're producing too much content. But I blame that on WWE, though, Teddy, because if you know that's a problem, then hire more people or do what you got to do to adjust so the quality of the product does not go down in the process.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just me. Let's see. Curly Man, by the way, I saw you pop up here. I'm going to throw you up in here again. Curly Man, good to see you in here saying hello, Teddy and Mac.
Curly Man, holla, player.
And, of course, we have our lovely, pretty classy lady popping in again tonight. Good to see you, Mac and Teddy.
All right. How are you, young lady?
I'm sure she's doing good. And, Teddy, by the way, we're going to have a special guest with us. I'm thinking it's going to be next week. Hopefully that's the case. Normally on Tuesday nights, and this was weird this week because normally you and I, we talk twice a week on Tuesday night and a Thursday night. Well, this past Tuesday, we didn't do our recording that we normally do with Bill Apter on the Sportskeeda's Wrestle Bench because they're shutting that channel down. And so we didn't get any time together. So Bill's going to stop by. He's going to be a part of the show every so often here on Road Trip After Hours, and he'll be coming in to join us. But in the meantime, just give you an idea of what Bill's got coming up. It was all from the brains of Teddy, and this is coming to OneWrestlingVideo.com.
matter what you got to say.
Oh boy!
Mailman, mail today.
And we got that mailbag open, and Teddy, the first one, and Shelby,
Well,
don't go ahead, Teddy.
let me say this before you get started. That thing you was doing with Bill there, I'm glad he thought about that because I mean, golly, here's Bill after the guy. Excuse me, the guy's been around 50 years, just as long as me. He's talked to everybody in the world of professional wrestling. Some people he's talked to are dead and gone.
Yep.
So Bill Apter knows stuff that we probably may never know unless he reveals it. So he knows a lot of secrets, and he's talked with a lot of people that some stuff I know he might not want to tell it, but maybe it may be time to tell it. So we're just gonna pick his brain and see what Bill Apter knows. And like I said, it's top secret, and he does know a lot of stuff.
And by the way, as I mentioned, he'll be coming onto the show when he does come onto the show. And I think this is next week. So start getting some questions. Just rock them around in your head a little bit, because if there's something you've always wanted to know, but you've never heard the answer to, and you think Bill might know, ask him the question. You
Bill
never
could
know.
get interviews with people that nobody else would talk to.
Yes.
They
yes.
wouldn't even talk to nobody but Bill.
And a lot of the guys too, Teddy, and I hear him say this all the time, if it weren't for Bill Apter and the Apter mags during the time that he was over there, they wouldn't be the stars that they were, because it was the magazine and Bill that helped get their face out there. I mean, can you imagine today having somebody that you the only outlet in your sport is a magazine, and the top guy, and how are you not going to take advantage of somebody and say, man, I'd appreciate your friendship. You help me, I'll help you. Let's see what we can do. And he did that for so many people, which is why he's become so legendary. So we look forward to having Bill Apter on the show soon. But Shelby, in North Carolina, your question was SmackDown dropped below 1 million views last week. Lowest numbers in history. What does WWE need to do to get the fans to come back? And Teddy, you pretty much answered that, but yeah,
Well,
I
I don't know what they need to do. It's like I say, it's just if you put people in positions, then you got to give them some leadway to make the people believe that they're really that guy. And like I said, the authority figures there now. Both of those guys are great, Nick and
Nick and oh man, if you had this.
Scrap, what's it? Golly, I can forget his name every time too, man. But anyway,
Adam Pearce.
Adam Pierce, they are great guys, but I need to see some real authoritism.
Yes.
You know what I mean? When I came, the thing that really got me over was when I said, okay, that's how it's gonna be. Well, I tell you what, tonight, one-on-one, you know what I mean? Yeah. So
and I thought about that just recently, Teddy, because Nick Aldis was in the back in one of these recent SmackDown shows. I'm saying within the last month. And Sami Zayn was still the champion. And he went up to Nick, and Nick says, all right, I just need you to calm down. We're not having a match tonight. I will not do a match tonight, blah, blah, blah. And Sami says, oh, yes, we are. I'm going to the ring right now. It felt to me like they cut him off. You know what I'm saying? They kind of neutered him right there. It's like he is the GM of your program, and the talent is telling the GM what they're going to do. In fact, if you go back and look at a lot of those shows, he didn't even have matches lined up. They were making them in the back all through the night. It's like a real GM would have had his lineup. He would have known what his show consisted of, and he would have stuck to it, and the storyline would have reflected that in the authority of that figure. That does not exist, and I agree with you 100% when it comes to the general managers of the two shows. They do not have that real authority where you buy what they say, and so does the talent.
where you believe it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2 is Michael in South Carolina. He wants to know, do you think Vince McMahon will be at John Cena's final match? There's a lot of rumors going around, people suggesting that he will be. Teddy, do you think so?
Well, I don't know. You never know. I mean, him and Cena, they were real good friends. And at the birthday party, Cena was one of the guys that was there at the table with
Yeah.
me. So I wouldn't count it out. I mean, Vince, he has to come back somewhere.
Yeah, I just don't know if that I would let him come back at that point. If I'm him, I'd want to come back at that point. He doesn't need it, you know.
Well, you don't have to do nothing with him if he comes back, but maybe if he comes back, you just show he's there, to support Cena or something like that, and that's it.
Yeah, unless there's bad blood between Vince and some of those at WWE, then he may just say, "Why? I'm not going to help you. Why should I? I mean, you
No,
booted me from my company. Why would I
well,
come help you?"
well,
Yeah,
there
I mean,
you
because
go.
the Vince McMahon that I know in the stories I've heard, I don't know that he would go shake hands with somebody who bit him, and be polite about it. Especially if it's only going to help them and not, not him himself. I don't know. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, though. Pretty
Yeah,
classy lady in here saying they need interesting storylines and real characters again. That's a start. And it is reality. You've got to be able to believe what you're seeing on screen. And that's something I think that screams a lot of times. I love a lot of the talent in WWE. This is not a knock on the talent by any means and their talents to do what they do in the ring. But some people, when I see Nia Jax in the ring and you got somebody that's about a quarter her size, come on. You take the
well,
believability right out of it.
but you got to look at it like this: there are no girls, that's her size. There are there's really no girls out there that's her size. So when you got her that big as she is, and with a smaller opponent, then that opponent needs to work like she's small. She's fucking little, then work like you're little. You just bump around.
Yeah,
Ain't
but
really nothing you can do. You can try to get a few punches in, but now you don't sell that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Look at her and then take her down. So just what I mean. That
you can work it smart. I agree with that. But if you're coming out and let's say Nia Jax, we all know how big Nia Jax is, and I'm just going to say a name and you'll understand. Becky Lynch. She comes out to the ring and she's rocking like this, like she's just the baddest bitch you've ever seen. Nia Jax is up in that ring, and you look like somebody who's just about to get smeared all over that ring. And that, in reality, is what people expect to see. So,
that's good heat.
yeah. So, all right. So let's see. Rough cut. Let's see. There it goes. Rough cut. Rick Ruby. Good to have you in here, Rick. NXT, Evolve, and TNA is where it's at to see intriguing wrestling, in-ring stories. I said what I said. Hey, man, look, there's a lot of these shows, and I even made a comment about this, Teddy. I know you've been on the independents working, and there's a lot of talent and a lot of people out there that are just as entertaining as what you see on TV. And in some cases, maybe even more creative than what you see on TV. Would you agree with that, Teddy?
Yes, I would. There's a guy now that I started when I was out, and you and I was out in Texas with SWE, Matt Castellano. I don't know whether
Yeah,
you remember him,
I
but
do.
he's
Yeah.
over now with Booker, with Booker T, with Reality of Wrestling. And I always told him, God damn it, you cut the best promos in the world. And I saw him on a promo with Reality of Wrestling, and he's doing real good there. I sent him over there to see Book, man, and they could use him, but they won't give people like that a chance.
That's a shame. Max, I remember him specifically. He was one of the very few. He's a friend of mine on Facebook. He is one of the very few from that time. Man, he had everything. You could look at him. He was TV ready when I met him. He has
Oh,
that look. He said the girls will love him.
oh, we did some good stuff, man. Remember where
Oh,
we had him blind and he did the way he blinds the guy with Clorox, he threw it in.
yeah,
Oh man, we did good stuff there, man.
yeah. He's just a great talent. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yes,
I've
yeah. Max
been wondering.
Castellano there. He's with Reality of Wrestling, man. Great guy.
Very cool. E Money. I'm sorry, C Money. Holla holla.
Holla back at you, see money.
All right, so we got a few more minutes here. Charlton in New Jersey ask, hmm. I'm looking at the choices and the question here going, I don't know. Who is the better booker? And you have to rank 1 to 3. In other words, number 3, the 1 being your favorite. Okay. So let's start from the back. Who's your third I can already tell you what this is going to be. Who is your third choice when it comes to bookers? Vince McMahon, Triple H, or Tony Khan?
Vince.
No, Vince would be your number one, I would imagine, right?
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So we know now Vince is your number one. Who's your number two?
Well, I don't know anything about Tony Khan, so I've had the opportunity to work with Hunter for a little bit. So I would say Triple H.
All right. Between, this is where it gets tricky, between Vince McMahon and Triple H, who's the better booker overall?
Vince McMahon.
I agree with that. Totally agree with that. That was a good question. Samantha on Facebook writes, do you believe we will ever see wrestling reach the heights again of the Attitude Era?
Well, yeah, you're gonna have to change power. That's what's going on right now. You know, the power and power needs to change. You know, people need to come into the sport now that are younger minds and kind of know what the 20th century is all about. So I think once they do that and just start new, bring fresh people in and stuff. You know, I think things might work out then.
I was doing one of the other shows that I do with a talent. When we were talking about that, the suggestion, and this is Vince Russo was the other person, he has suggested that there are like four people that really need to go that are in the top positions really within the company creatively, that he feels like as long as they're there, nothing's going to change. Is that kind of what you're saying, Teddy, that some of the old guard eventually needs to kind of fade away and let the younger guys take over?
Well, you have to bring in the young minds. You know what I mean? And like I said, people in this business, you have to learn when to take the cape off. And a lot of guys don't know when to take the cape off. And it's really sad.
Yeah. It just cracking me up. Rough cut, Rick Ruby. We were talking about the best bookers, and he says, you mean Dave Meltzer's not in the mix? So Dave Meltzer would not be in that mix. Let's see. And let's see. Also, C Money is saying that Vince is not just number one, but he's number two and number three. I can't argue that either. I really can't. He's also saying that we need wrestlers who work. We can't see through. Nobody throws a good working punch anymore. That's true. It's because I think nowadays, Teddy, and correct me if I'm wrong, these guys, they kind of act like, we don't have to get as close and be as tough because people know it's not real.
Well, what I think really needs to happen there, you got so much going on. I think they need to designate one guy, just one guy to watch every match, and one veteran guy, a guy that knows what he's doing and what he's talking about. And each match he watches, and he's like, when a guy don't sell, he calls him to get on him right then. Just as soon as he comes back through that curtain, you get on his ass right there. And I don't think that's happening now. Some of the agents may be saying something to them, but you're not letting them know the importance of selling. That's what's going to draw your money. Okay, so I designate one guy, and he has to be a badass. So let the guy know, hey, this ain't how it goes. This is fucking how it goes, and maybe you might punch him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Did you feel that? Okay, to give him a working punch, but guys that know how to work, they can go there, and not hurt you.
Oh, yeah. Look, a lot of guys, if there's not any real contact of sorts, then you're probably not throwing the punch like you ought to be. It's almost like I don't know how to explain it. Don't even know that I want to explain it, but I will say that it's not that difficult. And even if you do hit someone harder than you expect to hit them, you're not going to tear their head off. You're not going to knock them out if you're smart. And the fans are going to believe it more if they see that contact than they will if they see you 6 inches away from the guy's face. And then they're going to go, that takes me straight out of a match. Because a lot of times, some of the best matches are places where we think there is legitimate heat between the two wrestlers behind the scenes. Not that it's part of the storyline, but it's part of the behind the scenes element that everybody talks about all the time. And you find out, oh, this guy doesn't like this guy. Now they're working together. I bet they're going to throw some heavy punches in this thing. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see a 6-inch separation between their face and the fist. I want to see contact because I want to believe what they are telling me in the ring. That's just me. All right, Teddy, we're out of time. I'm going to get off my soapbox. Who are we going to go to tonight for a T-shirt from Road Trip After Hours?
We'll send it to whatever the gentleman's name there asked me something about SmackDown.
Okay, that is actually Shelby. This is
Okay.
also, I don't know if that's a guy or a girl, but
Okay.
Shelby
Well,
in North
my
Carolina.
bad.
But we'll get that out to you. I will get in touch with you about the contact information. We'll send it out. All we ask is you just simply put it on, take a picture, send it back to us, and we'll throw it up on the screen when we get those. Anything else you need to talk about, Teddy, before we get out of here?
No, I think I'm good. Oh, I'm going to be in Buffalo, New York on November 21st there for a big meet and greet. I'm going to be there. Then there's a big wrestling show. So I'll give you more information on it as time goes.
That sounds good. I got it to get up in the morning now and go film for that TV deal that I'm doing, and I'm going to be a rodeo clown.
That's good.
Ooh,
That's really good. I don't know who's
yeah.
doing this stuff, but tell them I like them.
Did you?
They're giving you the right role. That's great.
They're going to have me out there with the damn bulls scaring the hell out of me. I can see it coming.
Get your
All right,
check, man.
Yeah, I would be. This may be the last show we do. We never know. All right, I'm out of here. I'm Mac Davis, your host, and that, of course, is WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and this has been Road Trip After Hours. We'll see you again next Thursday.